Hello students, welcome back. In our last video, we took our game from a frame-based system and moved it to a time-based system. This ensures that our game runs smoothly and consistently on any computer, no matter how fast or how slow. We also used our newfound time to implement a ramp system, taking starting values for things such as the number of turrets on the screen and how fast our projectiles were moving, and slowly increasing them linearly through time to some ending or maximum value. This process was known as linear interpolation, or LIRP. In this video, we're going to use that ramp that we created to add a pressure system to the game. Right now, we only have one turret that spawns in our battlefield at the start of the game, and we can use our ramp to spawn more turrets at desired locations. By the end of our game, at our maximum difficulty, we'll have 5 turrets all firing down projectiles at our player. So let's head to the computer screen and let's dive right in. So right here, I have lessons 6 starter file open here in vscode.dev. I'm going to minimize that real quick. I'm going to open up the folder that these files live in directly, and let's open the starter file up so we can see exactly where we are at. So right now, if I hit enter, it looks like our ramp readout is still on the screen. All right, it says we've got 1 active turret right there, so that's kind of good. And it now says 2 active turrets, except I don't see a second active turret. Our pressure system, we should be adding turrets to the battlefield as the ramp calls for it. And so that is clearly broken. So let's dive over to our computer screen, or to our code, and begin here. But you know what? Before we do, let's talk about what the layout of our multiple turret pressure system is going to be. We should probably design this first. And so I think you should have the freedom to create whatever layout you want for your turrets. But I'm going to describe to you what my layout is going to be. So here is my game canvas. All right, here is my canvas. And we know we start with spawning a single turret right here, right in the center of our game window. I'm going to have 5 turrets in total at our maximum difficulty. And so this is turret number 1. And my second turret is going to spawn in the upper left-hand corner of my window, 2. And I'm going to make sure that I spawn it a certain distance away and down from that corner. And I'm going to try to give enough room so that my player object can maneuver around the turret if need be. Turret number 3, I'm going to spawn in the top right-hand corner. And we'll have that same distance or offset for the turret. Turret number 4, I think turret number 4, I spawn right down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and there should be an offset. And then turret number 5, I will spawn right here in the bottom right-hand corner. And again, there's going to be an offset. Now, that's going to be my turret layout. Maybe you like that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to say, okay, I'd prefer to have all of my turrets like this. I don't know. So here's one turret. Maybe you want your second turret in line with it, your third turret in line, your fourth turret here, your fifth turret here. The beauty of this is that with this system in place, you can spawn your turrets anywhere you want, okay? And so have the freedom to choose, have fun with it, design your game the way that you want it. But I'm going to stick with this system right here. All right, so with that said, let's look at mission number 1. We want to define the turret offset distance. I had mentioned that our turrets are not going to be butted right up against the edge of the screen. I'm going to try to give a distance here so that we can maneuver around the side of them between the edge of our canvas and the turret itself. So if I hit Control F to bring up my taskbar, I'm going to type in mission number 1, and it will bring us here. So mission number 1, define the turret offset distance. Control how far the turrets are placed from the edge. So let's see, right now, what is it set to? Oh, it's set to 0. Well, that's a terrible value for an offset. I am going to set it to, I'm going to try 80 here. So it's going to move it, 80 pixels in from the left and 80 pixels down. And I think that's going to work because what is my player's size? Well, their radius is 18, so their diameter is like 36. So it's like almost double the size of the player. So that should work quite nice. Look at that. Mission 1 complete. Now, mission 2, mission 3, mission 4, and mission 5, if you look, they are all right here in a row. This is sort of a light lesson. So each turret spawning is going to be its own mission. Where are we spawning these? Well, we're spawning them in reset game to defaults. All right, so let's take a look here. Mission 2, this is my top left turret, right? We said, okay, we're going to put a turret right here in the top left. If you're going to follow my layout pattern, you can follow along exactly. If you want to choose your own layout pattern, see if you can figure out where your turrets need to spawn in. But if you remember, we have a function that's going to help us here. It is called spawn turret. I believe we called it, yeah, look at this. We called it right up here, spawn turret. This was our original starting turret. It takes an X value and a Y value for the center of the turret. So I'm going to spawn my turret in the top left corner. All right, so let's see. I'm going to call the spawn turret function. And I'm going to spawn a turret. Its X value, what do I want its X value to be? So this is going to be the top left corner. So if I did 0, it's going to put it right here on the left. So I'm going to do turret offset to shift it in the amount that I want. So let's see, turret offset. All right, so there's our turret offset distance. And then my Y value, where do I want to bring it down? So I don't want to bring it down just turret offset, because if you think, I didn't really draw this. I should have drawn it. We also have a HUD that sits up here, right? So this is our HUD. All right, our heads up display. So we've got to take into the account that HUD distance and our offset to place the turret in the correct location. So let's account for that right now. We're going to say, all right, my Y value is going to be HUD height, which is our constant, plus turret offset, our other constant. And right now, if I refresh my game, let's see if my turret's in the correct location. Hey, look at that. I got it in my top left corner. Do I have room to move by? Yep, I got room to move by it. This is wonderful. Of course, right now, I'm not supposed to start the game with 2 turrets. I'm only supposed to start the game with 1. So something's broken there. We're going to have to fix it. But before we fix it, we should probably finish the rest of these missions, because I want to have 5 turrets in total. So mission number 3 is spawning the top right turret. So now, where are we going to have to place this thing? So I'm going to say spawn turret. All right, let's think about this. Our X coordinate. Well, let's think about this. If we spawned it all the way over here, that's the width of our canvas. And then I want to go back, zoop, my turret offset. So this time it's going to be our width minus the turret offset. So let's give that a shot. So the width of our canvas minus turret offset. And there we have it. What's our Y value going to be? Well, our Y value is going to be exactly the same as our previous one, right? We want to have it account for the HUD height and then shift down by our turret offset. So we'll make this HUD height plus turret offset. Hey, let's run it. Let's check it. Let's make sure this is great. Hey, we got 3 turrets now. And I can tell you right now, the gameplay is amping up. Holy mackerel. Thankfully, I got that overdrive shield. Surviving. Nope, I lied. I am not surviving. I'm dying. Hey, it's only going to get harder, because we're going to add a 4th turret. This time it's going to be in the bottom left corner. Let's see if you can figure this one out all on your own. Why don't you pause the video? Pause the video and see if you can actually position the bottom left and the bottom right turrets correctly all on your own. And then we'll come back and we'll check it. Okay, did you really pause the video? Did you figure this out on your own? If you did, congratulations. If you didn't, but you tried, congratulations. If you just said, I'm going to wait because I know he's going to do it for me, well, you're not wrong. Let's do it together. So we're going to type out the function spawn turret. And this time, what is our X value going to be? Well, our X value for this next turret, turret number 4, our bottom left turret, is going to have the same X value as this turret right here. We're just going to start at 0 and shift in by our turret offset. So this is going to read turret offset. And now, what is the Y value going to be? Well, we're going to bring it all the way down to the bottom right here, and then I'm just going to shift it up by the turret offset. So I'll do height minus turret offset. And really, we could be I'm sure we could be a little bit more precise with this. Like we could, let's just see. Let's run this. All right, that looks, I'm pretty happy with that. That actually looks pretty darn good. One more turret to go, our bottom right corner. So we'll say spawn turret, and then I'll do turret offset. Oh, wait, no, what's my X value going to be? I didn't even think about it. I was just going through muscle memory. Our X value, we are going to take the width of the screen, the width of the canvas, and then subtract the turret offset to go back here. So we're going to say width minus turret offset. All right, and our Y value is going to be the same Y value as our previous because they are in line. We're going to go all the way down to the bottom of our canvas height, and then we're going to subtract turret offset. All right, this looks great. Let's just check it out. And there we have our full battlefield. Awesome. Look at that. That's you can tell how bad I am at this game. I will get better. I'll practice. But right now, we have a huge problem. So missions 1 through 5 are done. This is great. Congratulations. But when we start our game, according to my ramp readout, I should only have 1 turret. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turrets. I'm spawning 5 turrets into my array. Where is it? Where is that little array? Right here. My array of turrets, right? Every time I spawn a turret, I'm pushing that turret into this data structure, this container that's going to hold all of our arrays. So we gotta figure out, even though the turrets are created, I've got 5 turrets right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are not all active. And so what we need to do is determine how many active turrets there are. Whoa, would you look at that? In our update ramp values, we actually have a variable that is getting controlled by our ramp that we had created. That variable is called active turret count, or active turret count. And it starts, we're using lerp, so linear interpolation. Our active turret start, which is 1 turret, and our active turret end, which is, what is it going to pop up? Is it going to pop up? Yep, it's 5 turrets. And then we're controlling that with our ramp. Just a quick review. If you forget how linear interpolation works, think of it like a graph. So here's my graph. Zoop. Oh, there's my graph. Zoop, zoop. And on this axis right here, I've got values, a starting value of 1 and an ending value of 5. And then on the x-axis, think of this as 0 and this here as 1. This is my starting number. This is my ending number. And we can think of this as a nice line going all the way across. As our ramp changes, when our ramp is 0, the number of turrets that we have is right here, 1. When our ramp is at 1, the number of turrets that we have is right here, 5. When our ramp is, maybe right here, the number of turrets that we have might be 2. Now, this gets kind of tricky because if we are maybe right here, according to our ramp, the number of turrets we might need is like 2.3. And I hate to break it to you, you can't have a 0.3 of a turret. We only can have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 turrets, integer turrets. So we somehow have to take this number that we are undergoing linear interpolation, and we have to make it an integer. And that's why we are rounding this. So we're going to round it so that it rounds to the closest whole number. All right. So we just got to make sure that we use this active turret count when we are doing anything with our turrets, such as updating the turret to see if it has to fire or drawing the turret. So let's go to mission number 6, because I believe that's the mission we're on. And look at that. It puts us right in the update turrets function. We only want to update our active turrets. Limit turret firing based on the active turret count. All right, if you look here, our for loop right now reads for const turret of turrets. That array turrets has 5 turrets in it, right? We've pushed all of our 5 turrets that we just created into that array. And so we're looping over the entire thing. And for every turret that is in that array, we're decreasing its fire timer and then spawning projectiles when it gets to 0. I do not want to do that. Instead, I only want to loop over the number of turrets that are active. And so we need to change the way our for loop is structured. So I'm going to get rid of that because active turret count is a number. It is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is 4. It is 5. It could end at 5, right? So we are going to say for let I equals 0, semicolon, I less than active turret count, semicolon, I plus plus. What is this doing for us? Well, when active turret count is 1, I is 0, and then, so this for loop runs when for I is 0, and then it stops. When active turret count is 2, I starts at 0, the for loop runs, I goes to 1, the for loop runs, and then it stops. When active turret count is 3, I is 0, the for loop runs, I is 1, the for loop runs, I is 2, the for loop runs, and then it stops. And so right now we've changed the structure of the for loop to no longer loop over all of the turrets, but just the select number of turrets that we have active. There's only one problem. Right now, if you look, we're using turret, 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 turret. Nowhere in this for loop do I have this variable turret defined. See, I lost my for turret or const turret of turrets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redefine it. I'm going to say const turret is equal to, and I'm going to reach into the array turrets. Square brackets means I'm going to open that array up and I'm going to reach in and grab something at a specific position. So I could grab the turret at position 0 or at position 1 or at position 2 or at position 3. But instead, I'm going to grab the turret at position I. Because remember, I is changing. It's going to be 0, then it's going to be 1, then it's going to be 2. And it will stop once it's reached our active turret count. So if I run this now, let's see what turrets are going to be updated and be firing. So if we look right now, it's only that first turret that's firing. This one's sort of dead. This one is dead. This one is also inactive. And this one is inactive. Now we got 2 live turrets. And you can see now we've got 2 of them firing. So it looks like this is working really good for our update system. But there is a problem. If a turret's not active, I don't want to be drawing it. So this turret should not be drawn until it comes online. So I bet we have that in another mission. So let's go to mission number 7 here. Mission number 7, hey, look at that. It puts us right in our draw turrets function. See? Just like before, we only want to draw the active turrets and ensure that inactive turrets are not rendered or drawn to the screen. And look at the structure of our for loop. Once again, we are looping over the entire array of turrets for const turret of turrets. There's 5 turrets in our array. Not all of them are active. We have to make sure that we do not loop over the entire array. So we are going to change the structure of this for loop. Just like before, we're going to say let I equals 0. We're going to start at 0, and then we're going to go until I is less than active turret count. And then we're going to increase I by 1 every iteration of our for loop. Just one problem. I just lost that variable turret. It no longer says for or const turret of turrets. So turret doesn't exist anywhere here. So I have to redefine it. So I'm going to say, hey, let's create a constant called turret. And I'm going to get it by reaching into the array turrets and picking out something at a specific position. It could be position 0. It could be position 1. It could be position 2. But we'd rather have it be at position I, because I is going to be changing each iteration of the loop. So on the first iteration, I is 0. This is going to grab the turret at position 0. Then when I is 1, it's going to grab the turret at position 1, then the turret at position 2, and it will stop once it's reached our active turret count. Make sure we put a semicolon here for good JavaScript practice. And while we're here, let's just do mission 8, because mission 8, I think, is just a little check. It's a pressure readout verification. Let's ensure that the pressure readout is displayed. We are doing that. Mission 8, the easiest mission we've ever done. We don't have to do a single thing because this readout is already present. So now if we run this, look at that. No turrets are drawn. And let's see when our active turret count shifts to 2, who absorb those bullets. All right, there we go. Active turret count 2. Now let's check out if I can get to 3. I'm going to try my best to play this game. I want to see if we can spawn all 5 turrets. No promises that this is going to happen. Please don't laugh at me if I die on, 3 turrets. I sort of wasted a fair amount of my overdrive. Whoa, boy. Okay, there's our 3rd turret coming online. It's now firing at me. Dodging bullets. Moving fast. The bullets are definitely getting faster. I can feel the pressure of the game increasing. All right. Oh, that was a bad waste of my overdrive. Turret 4 should be coming online here any second. Okay, there's turret 4. Oh boy. The sound effects are probably really entertaining to you. And I couldn't get to turret number 5. That might be the best that I've ever done. Now listen, mission number 8, our pressure readout, we can ensure that the HUD is being displayed. I do want to just show you. In JavaScript, there's a nice way that if we don't want that readout, we just put two little slashes here, two backslashes or forward slashes right next to that line, and that comments that line out. And now that pressure readout, our ramp readout, is gone. So when we're officially done with the game, we'll probably take that ramp readout right out. But for right now, I'm going to leave it in because it's good for debugging. All right, I think this lesson is complete. We've added some nice pressure here, but there's one last thing I want to do in this video because we have the time to do it. I want to show you an extremely helpful resource. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm just going to type in P5JS. All right, and so this is the documentation for the library that we are using, that we are bringing in here to help us render graphics to the screen in JavaScript. And I'm going to click on this super helpful references link. So in this search bar, we can type in a lot of the functions that we have been working with. If you are ever at all confused on how a function works, something that is pre-written for you that P5 is giving us, we can look it up. For example, let's talk about fill. So if I just type in fill and hit enter, I can pull this up and look, it tells us everything about this. Set the color used to fill shape. Calling fill. And look at that, there's an RGB color, or fill. You could literally just type out the color orange if you don't want any control over it. Means all shapes drawn after the fill command will be filled with that orange color. So this is the putting paint in our paint bucket. And if you look, it then gives you a variety of examples, which is super cool. And I don't know, can we actually change those values out? I don't know. Let me see. This right now has got red, and let's put some green in here. 255. And if I do that and then hit refresh, nope, that sets it back. Okay. So if I do 255 and then hit play, look at that. I can actually change the code. So that is awesome. Super cool. So if you want to see how a function is working, just come over here. So let's do another one that we've done. Like let's talk about the, let's do rect, right? Rect. We were drawing some rectangles. So I'll search up the rect function. Here's the rect function. All right. And it tells me a little bit about it. Draw a rectangle. A rectangle is a four-sided shape defined by X, Y, W, and H parameters. X and Y set the location of its top left corner, W sets its width, and H sets its height. So perfect. That's exactly what we needed to hear, right? That's something we needed to know. And so if we look, we can now say, oh, let's check this rect out. Let's give it a width. Let's make it a width of 100. And if I hit play, it changes. It made it much wider. Granted, you can't see it here in this small little window, but it's cool that you can actually mess around with these functions and see them in real time. So referencing, lerp. We've been using lerp. What's lerp going to tell us? Calculates a number between two numbers at a specific increment. Ooh, I love that. Look at that. We can do lerp a, b by 0.2. And see, this is what we use for our ramp. So reading documentation is a really important part of video game development, of programming, of just, scientific pursuit in general. Being able to go out and find the information that you might be lacking. This is a great resource for you in order to do that. And we can see how, a lot of these functions that we've used in our game, if you just need a quick brush up on them, say, ooh, I know I need to make a rectangle, but I don't remember what information a rectangle needs. Just go to the P5 reference and search up that rect function, and you will be all set. All right, with that said, I am extremely happy with the state of our pressure system. Our game is increasing its difficulty smoothly via the ramp that we had created. And really, we are applying pressure in two ways. The first being our bullets, our projectiles, are moving faster as the game progresses. And secondly, we are creating more and more turrets. Hopefully, you have felt like, yeah, I take some ownership of this game. I have my own turret design, my own turret layout if you want to. I'm only using 5 turrets. Maybe you want to have 7 or 8 turrets on your battlefield. You absolutely could do that. It's as simple as just changing a couple of lines of code. So with that, we'll stop here, and I'll see you in our next video.